So now we can do a Leetcode weekly contest, right? One second. Like hold on, like my camera is very vertical, right? No, I think that is good. So like scene. Hold on. In hold on, guys. No, I think it is good. Tell him. Yes, how I can do, right? So yes. The first question is sum of element with frequency divisible by k. You are given an integer array return an integer denoting the sum of all elements in nums whose frequency is divisible by k, right? So the frequency of an element is x is the number of terms which occurs in the array, right? The example of 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, k, 16, right? The number of 1 appears once odd frequency. Right. Firstly, like we will do how many times each number shows up in the array, right? So now we only care about the numbers whose frequency is divisible by k, right? So like what will we do like approaches? So the approach is like firstly count frequencies, right? Count like use a hash map, an order map डिक्ट कर ले या hash map कर ले to store how many times each number appears. And then check divisibility. Like for each number check if its frequency divided by k is equal to 0, right? And then third is some contribution. That is some contribution like if divisible add number into frequency is like our answer, right? Then return total. Right. So we like to code the sum into unordered map la देंगे slash int and as into the p, right? Then loop is like for auto I nums हो जाएगा, right? Then mp I plus then int answer is equal to 0, then also for loop for auto and j, right? Like if j dot seconds by k is equal to 0, right? Then answer plus equal to j dot first into j dot second, right? So like then like return answer. So yes, we like to run the code. I think this is running the seconds, not seconds. Like to run the code. Right, submit. First version is done. Now second. Longest balance substring I. Longest balance substring, right? So you are given a string as consisting of lowercase English letter, right? A substring of S is called balance if all distinct characters in the substring appear the same number of times. A substring is a contiguous non-empty sequence of within a string. Right. So we'll, so we like input s is equal to a and output is like 4. Thus the longest substring is a right, and both the string a and b each appear exactly 2 times, right. So like count character in string में if like max frequency is equal to min frequency हो जाएगा तो then it's balanced, right. Let's slide through all possible substring to find the maximum. So like वही अप्रोच है जो सस्टिंग में करते हैं, iterate over all possible starting point I, right. Then create an order map to track frequency while extending the substring from I to J, right. And for each extension check if the substring like balance, like min is equal to max frequency, right. So keep the track the maximum length, right. So int min1 is equal to int right. So like int slash max I is equal to 0, right. So for auto p mp, right. Like n is equal to mini min slash mini as p dot second, right. And then max I is equal to max p dot second. Then we would like to return min I is equal to xi. Then we would like to int longest balance string s, right. So then int लेंगे s not size, and then int answer is equal to 0. Then for loop चलाएंगे for slash int equal to 0 I and then n, right. then we like to an order map चला देंगे int to mp, right, then /int j is equal to I j and j plus plus, right? So mp as j, right? And then increment, like if solve as mp, then int l is equal to j minus I plus 1, right? Yes. Then like to answer is like max and then answer and then L, right? Then it answer to run the code, compile error. String int longest है, balance है, string s भी है. What is the error यार? Longest balance substring here, right? So like the third question, right? Third question is longest balance substring. The second part, right? वही है जो where you are given a substring as is called balance for the characters, right? The length वही दे रखी है. Okay. And A B की 4 देंगे. Some like 50-60% is the same question, right? तो वही एक्सप्लेनेशन क्या है, फाइंड करनी है लेंथ ऑफ लॉन्गेस्ट बैलेंस सबस्ट्रिंग इन अ स्ट्रिंग, राइट? तो फर्स्टली वी लाइक टू नो, फर्स्टली हैंडल consecutive identical characters. first handle consecutive identity. Like first, the algorithm checks for longest contiguous block of the same character. Like for example, you like to S is equal to A and the block the A and B are considered giving maximum length of 3, right? And these steps ensure we account for cases where where repeated character themselves form the longest balanced substring, and the time complexity is big O n and space complexity is big O 1, right? But the step to find the longest two character balance substring, right? A helper function is used to find the longest substring where two characters have equal counts, ignoring the third character. For like example, character lilia A and B ignoring C. The function keeps the track of the difference in counts plus for A and minus 1 for B, right? Some like a dictionary stores the first occurrence of each valence value, allowing quick calculation of substring length with equal counts, right? So these function is applied all three pairs of character like AB ignore C, AC ignore B, and BC ignore A, right? So this time complexity is like big O n and space complexity big O n, right, for balanced dictionary. And then third step, handle substring balance across all three characters. To find the substring where count of A, B and C are all equal. Like so the algorithm uses cumulative counts SA, CA, CB and CC. It stores the first occurrence of each pair like CA minus CB and CA minus CC in a dictionary. If the same pair occurs again at a later index, the substring between the previous index plus 1 and the current index is balanced across all three characters. So the length of such substring is tracked and the maximum is updated, right? And like step 4, we would like to combine result. Like these algorithm consider all three like longest single character block, longest two character balance substring, longest three character balance substring, right? So the maximum among these is returned is as the final, right? So yes, so we like to const and n is equal to int as dot size, right? And int best is equal to 0. And the first case we would like to case 1, right? So single character runs, right? Single C runs, right? So like for 4 slash int I is equal to 0, right? And I until an n, right? So this happened, and int j is equal to ले लेंगे I, right? And then while j less than n and as j equal to si, right? And then increment j, right? And then best is equal to max best and j minus I, right? And then I is equal to j I, and then first second of all for case 2 is like two letter skip separator, right? Two letter and skip separator, right? So for like auto two letters is equals to like n, right? X char y, right? And char sep, right? So int I is equal to 0, right? And then while I less than n, right? Right. Well, I is equal to while another loop is like I less than n, right? And as I is equal to sep and increment I, right? So if I is equal to n, so like break, so int j equal to I, right? Then unordered map let int as int first, right? First, then first is like is 0 equal to I minus 1, right? So then like int sum is equal to 0, and then while loop j less than n and s j equal to sep, right? That's sum plus equal to s j, right? Equal to x, right? Minus 1, right? And then auto it is equal to first find sum, first dot find sum, right? And then if it is equal to first and is equal to then first sum is equal to j, and then we like to else best, right? Else best is equal to max best plus j minus 8 a second, right? And then increment j. So I is equal to j, right? So like to run this, like to copy it and like to run it, right? And then like to run, then submit, right? And then last question is sum of perfect square. And this last question is sum of perfect square. You are given an integer n, right? You are given an integer and an indirect tree rotated at node 0 with n nodes numbered from 0 to n minus 1. This is represented a 2D array edges of length n minus 1, right? So where edges I is equal to UVI indicates an undirected edge between nodes UI and VI. So you are also given an integer array nums where nums I is positive integer assigned to the node I. Define a value t as the number of ancestor of node I such that the product nums I into nums ancestor is a perfect square. Right, so the return the sum of all ti values for all nodes I in range I and minus 1, right? So the node is in a rotated tree. The ancestor of node I are all nodes on the path from node I to the root node 0, including I itself, right? So a perfect square is a number that can be expressed as the product of an integer itself, like 1, 4, 9, 16, right? So this is the given this is the given example. This is the given example. So the problem asks us to count pairs of node, right? I ancestor in a tree such that the product nums I into nums ancestor is a perfect square, right? So to efficiently check this property, we observe two numbers multiplied to a perfect square, right? And only if the prime factor have the same party even odd counts. So we can reduce each numbers to its square free from product of primes with odd exponent. Then two nodes form a valid pair if they share the same square free value, right? So like the this gonna be approaches. How can do we approach? Firstly, square free reduction, right? So for each numbers remove square prime factor using remove duplicate nums, like 8 is like 2 ka cube, right? So square free 18 is 2 1 into 3 square free is equal to 2, right? And the second DFS traversal, like DFS करेंगे perform a DFS from the root node 0, right? So each node returns a map in long containing the frequency of square free value in its subtree, right? And the third step we would like to do like small to large merge optimization, right? When merging child map into the current nodes map, always merge the smaller map into the larger map, right? These ensure an overall complexity of big O and log n, since each element move only big O log n times. And the fourth is like counting valid ancestors, like before adding the current node value into the map, and like second point like add kernums to answer, since all existing ancestors with the same value form valid pairs. Then increment kernel include current node, right? So like after DFS, answer hold the sum of valid node, right? So the time complexity big O n log n, and space complexity is big O n, right? So like I have done, guys, and you can code me, and I have given the code, right? Very soon in the letter, right? Okay, guys. Okay guys, now I end it, right?